under 10.5 on the line.
You have to be the biggest, dumbest idiot.
Josh Allen inside the 10, inside 5, touchdown, game over.
Going into the draft, I was a big Penix guy. I'm still a big Penix guy. Rashee Rice is way ahead of schedule in his ACL rehab, which is good news for his fantasy managers because the Dallas court system is way behind schedule. That's also good news for local comedian Miles Francis. Oh, hello and welcome to What Are We Talking About with Jamie Jakes. I am him. I am sitting here with NFL insider James, and we are here to make you guys some money. If you missed our last episode, we went over season-long win totals. I am your host and current lightsaber holder for the off-season gambling program. No big deal. I'm also the champion of the regular season, and I'm talking to the champion of the postseason of our podcast, Mr. James. How you doing today, buddy?
Doing fantastic. Little lightsaber performance anxiety going on over there, though.
I was having a trouble getting it all the way up, although I will say it was at 3/4, which isn't bad.
It wasn't bad. Most
short notice.
Most people will like.
If this is your first time joining us, this is how it works. James has basically force bets for me in categories. We're changing it up this year. I've played the sports book in the past year. It's not fair. I kicked his ass. All right. We're going to make it a little bit more fair for this one. He has presented me categories for Super Bowl champion, and we're going to start with Super Bowl champion because we're going to give people what they want.
Wow.
All right. We're going to get off to a hot start of this episode. That'll catch your attention. All right. And then we're going to have player of the year awards. You have offensive rookie of the year, comeback player of the year, which we have to agree on, and head coach of the year. So 3 picks. I think you have 2 Super Bowl picks, right, James?
I have 2 Super Bowl choices.
Here's what. Okay, so I have 2 Super Bowl. Or you have 2 Super Bowl recommendations. I have 1, but I have 2 offensive rookies of the year.
Oh, okay.
So same amount of bets, right?
I'll accept it.
Okay, so we're all good. We're all fair, and we are going to start here, James. What is your Super Bowl winner betting recommendation?
I'll give you the lesser of the 2 lines, the one that pays out less, just so we have a little bit of a tease coming. I've got the old Houston Texans at plus 3,200. I think this team very easily makes the playoffs. I think we see a lot of additions, not in terms of players, but in terms of growth with a young team. And of course, my homie Ryans is coaching this team, having strong defense. And I think defense wins championships. I think they make an additional leap, make the playoffs, and I think they're in a good opportunity to make and, in fact, win the Super Bowl. And that is plus 3,200.
Plus 3,200 for the Texans to win the Super Bowl. That's a big jump forward. That would be, though, the trajectory of CJ Stroud's career, because this is the I've always said he's on the Baker Mayfield trajectory, right? First year comes out, is unbelievable, gets a little bit too cocky the next offseason, does a lot of content, does a lot of commercials, and he's a little bit more likable, I think. So it didn't bother people quite as much, I think, as Baker Mayfield did, because he's so handsome and he's so charismatic. I think people hate that. Anyways, he had a really down.
Stroud ugly.
What? Is CJ Stroud ugly? He's not as charismatic, that's for sure.
It's a backhanded way of saying.
I'll call balls and strikes. He's not ugly. He's not nearly as handsome as Baker Mayfield. I'm calling balls and strikes here. All right? And I think that's fair for me to do. Anyways, Baker Mayfield, his 3rd season was on the trajectory. If you look at his early stats that year, like that pick he threw where he hurt his shoulder, that was like his 2nd interception of the year. He was unbelievable. He was lights out. And that's what turned the whole season for him and I guess broke his and Coach Stefanski's relationship or whatever. Who knows what happens? Probably never know. Maybe when Stefanski's fired this year, we'll know. But anyways, I think CJ Stroud could have a massive bounce back season. I think he's in a great situation too, with the addition of Christian Kirk and Jaden Higgins on the outside, and obviously Nico Collins. If those 3 receivers just stay healthy for a whole season, which there's no chance of, because I think I think Collins and Christian Kirk have combined to miss like 21 games in like the past 2 years or something crazy like that. Anyways, if you do luck into that happening, it will be a very good offense. And you got Nick Chubb, comeback player of the year candidate.
And we got Noel as a backup. Don't forget Noel. I think Noel has a good chance of slipping in okay.
The fourth wide receiver out of Iowa State.
Yeah.
Do they have? I think they have 3 wide receivers out of Iowa State on that team, because I was watching preseason. There was a third one. I was like, is that? Anyways, yeah, Noel. Jaden Noel, is that his name? Is that right? He was all right. He was Ryan Perrio's, one of Ryan Perrio's sweet princesses in.
And if he likes him, that guy watches more tape than anybody else. So
film demon Ryan Perrio. We talk about a dynasty podcast on this show as well. Anyways, not a horrible pick. I'm not a D'Amico guy. Maybe I need to change my tune on him, because I think this was actually, interestingly enough, I think we both had their season total under last season.
We did.
It was like the only one that we both missed on in the whole, out of like 11 bets or whatever. So interesting that you have them as your Super Bowl champions. It is long odds, and I think I don't hate it. I wouldn't recommend it though. And I am going to recommend my Super Bowl champions. Call me a homer if you want to call me a homer. I'm going to take the Lions at plus 111. You bet $1. You take yourself to Burger King with that $11 at the end of the season. Lions are going to win. Everyone forgets Aiden Hutchinson goes down in week 2 of the regular season against the Cowboys in a win where they shut the Cowboys out, and I think put up like 56 football points in that game, revenge game for Dan Skipper, who they just cut for like the 3rd time in his career. They've cut this guy like 3 times. Anyways, they'll probably re-sign him to like a practice squad deal or whatever. Anyways, the Detroit Lions, as the Dynasty Cats getting fed right now, are the best team in the NFL. They were the best team in the NFL last year. They found a demon in Tesla. The only thing you could say defense-wise that would be even considered a minor hole in their defense would be the interior line. Guess what you do? You get Tyleek Williams to fill in some gaps for you on the inside. I think we've got Aiden Hutchinson, who's probably going to be like in pretty good shape this year. Not gonna tip any future picks that I have coming down the pipe. But defense was elite all of last year. Offense was elite all of last year until the very, very end. And we had one injury at the cornerback position that we couldn't afford to lose that game. And it happened at the beginning of the game. And Terry McLaurin, who just got signed to a big contract today as we're recording, went wild on the Detroit Lions, brother. And that will happen in the playoffs. But it's not going to happen this year. Lions are going to go on and win the Super Bowl. You're welcome. Who's your number 2 pick, James?
Not shocking. I'm not shocked.
Why aren't you shocked? Because they're the best team in football and it's a good bet. They're like the 6 odds-on favorite. They should be 2. They should be 2 behind the Ravens.
Behind the Ravens. Why not the Eagles?
Hot take. Just the free one there for you.
Last year's winner is always the number 1 favorite. Just saying. Well, my second pick and a much longer pick for the season.
Oh wait. People are going to say about the coordinators, shut up. Dan Campbell's in charge. All right, I'm done. I'm done with my take. Go ahead.
Yeah, Detroit over everyone.
I just heard the comment section talking. But the offensive coordinator upgrade, defensive coordinator upgrade. If you sign a contract with the New York Jets to be a head coach, you are by definition unserious about football. Aaron Glenn. See you later, alligator. Thanks for the 3rd round pick. We turned into Tesla. Thank you.
How dare you?
And goodbye. And this Brian guy or whatever his name is, I can't remember, over there in Chicago. Good luck, pal. Have fun with Caleb Williams. All right. That's all I got to say about that. All right. Go ahead, James.
My second Super Bowl pick, much longer, is the Miami Dolphins.
Okay.
I picked them
That's
to
insane.
make
so
the playoffs.
you have their win total over.
They are
their
plus
playoff.
8,100. Yeah, I have them to make the playoffs.
In the previous episode, you recommended them plus 250 to make the playoffs, which I agreed with. I like that.
No. The Dolphins are plus 8,100 to win the Super Bowl. I'm
reason.
high on the Mike McDaniels train, as we've talked about. I think that if Tua plays up to the level they can and they get rid of Tyreek Hill for at least a decent return, I think this team really has a lot of momentum, has a lot of good things going for them. And I really, truly believe that you might believe in Joe Henry. I believe in Tua.
I believe in Tua too. No chance they win the Super Bowl. They can't win the Super Bowl. O-line, D-line. O-line, D-line. No O-line, no D-line. Can't win a Super Bowl. Just a terrible take out of you. You should never be allowed to recommend the Dolphins. I love the playoff. I love the play. They are the epitome of make a wild card round and get blown out by the Kansas City Chiefs. That is what the Dolphins are going to do this year. All right. That's a bad take out of you. But I like the Texans one. It wasn't that bad. I wouldn't recommend it because I only recommended the Lions. But there you go. Any more to say about that, James?
Good to go to the offensive rookies.
Super Bowl predictions done. On to the offensive rookie of the year. I've got 2. You've got 1. Give it to me.
Oh, you don't want to go first?
You want me? Oh, that does make sense. I have 2. So I'll go first. Good point, James. Producer credit for you on this one. Congratulations. Offensive rookie of the year. So you bet both of these bets, just like James had 2 Super Bowl predictions. You bet both of these bets. Obviously, if one of them hits, you're plus money. So you're welcome. Number 1, I almost wanted to take 3 on this one. Number 1, short or the second odds-on favorite. It's Ashton Jeanty, number 1 at plus 180. That's insane. That seems like a bad idea. Number 2, the actual number 1 overall pick, a quarterback, which oftentimes wins the offensive rookie of the year, especially if he's the only one who's going to play 17 games this season. Cam Ward, Tennessee Titans, obviously. Calvin Ridley, I think he's going to have a breakout, like a second breakout season. True breakout season. I really, really like him in his 30th year. Coming off of that, we talked about, was that last episode, talking about JJ McCarthy? Guys who take, even at the wide receiver position, take like 2 years off of football. When it comes back, it's pretty slow, especially when you're a little bit older. But he looked really good last year, and now he's got an actual quarterback to throw to him. I think in Cam Ward. What if Cam Ward's good? He'll win the offensive rookie of the year. That's what'll happen. So that's why I like him at plus 350, James.
I mean, Calvin Ridley's time off too was because of gambling, not because of an injury. So,
well, no, remember he had like 2 years off because he got off. He was like after his like fantasy wide receiver like 3 season, he had like a really slow start to the season. Like first 3 games, he was like not on the. It was weird. It was bizarre. And he's like, I'm taking mental health break. So he takes like the leave of absence after like week 3 of the NFL season. After I drafted him in the second round.
Yeah.
I wasn't happy about that.
Yeah.
All right. That's why I remember it so well. So he goes on this leave, and during the leave of absence, he's gambling on sports. And then he gets in trouble. He gets suspended for, I think, like a whole season, right? And then when he came back, he was not nearly as good. Anyways,
no, I like it. A starting quarterback is going to start all 17 games.
Plus 350. Bet $1, win $3.50. Not bad.
Take that to Burger King and get a side of fries.
To Burger King, baby. In this economy. You're welcome. What's your first one?
Your dollar will actually be worth less thanks to the upcoming recession. Just kidding. Just kidding. Offensive rookie of the year. I have a man who I was very excited to draft in this year's sleeper league, dynasty league,
the Dino Superflex
dynasty league. A man that Nick Saban actually described as his favorite running back in this draft class. It's a man who's on the Patriots and might be third on the depth chart for now, but he'll be number 1 in our hearts by the end of the season. It's Travion Henderson.
Yep. That's all I got to say about that.
I think this guy is going to win the starting job pretty quick. I think he's also going to be the starting punt returner and kick returner based off of the little preseason game action that we had. I think, maybe he gets a touchdown or 2 while he's third on the depth chart from some special teams action. And then he very quickly wins Mike Vrabel's heart. And then he just runs over everybody and becomes the leading offensive rookie rusher in rushing yards and touchdowns. And I think it's a very easy storyline for that to be a winner. So plus 2,000 for who I consider the best running back in this draft class.
Bad bet. And your dog's telling you how bad that bet is. Travion Henderson, his time will come. He is undeniably good, but he's got Mike Vrabel as the head coach. And guess what? They're running a 3-headed horse backfield. It's going to be Ramondre Stevenson on first down. And he's going to trot off the field, and he's going to pat Antonio Gibson, who led the NFL in yards after contact per carry last season, and nobody talks about it, James.
Well, you're talking about it.
Getting a lot of money. I'm talking about it. Hope people are listening. Anyways, and then they're gonna get another 2 yards, and then he's gonna high five Travion Henderson as he comes onto the field, and they're just gonna cycle through that. Maybe they get a first down, maybe they don't. He's not gonna get enough volume. Omarion Hampton and Ashton Genty are gonna get way more volume than them, and I think Omarion's gonna be on a better offense. So I think this is a bad pick out of you. It's a long shot. You get a lot of plus money. Travion Henderson's time will come. It's not in 2025, 2026 NFL football season. Which brings me, go ahead.
Slap him in on third down, and then he's actually going to run a wheel route for a touchdown every.
That will probably happen like 2 times this season. Not going to be enough when Ashton Genty has 14 touchdowns and 1,300 rushing yards. It's going to be different. All right. Anyways, moving on to my other offensive rookie of the year. So I gave you the good, safe answer in Cam Ward at plus 350, a little bit of a long shot here, and a guy who's in a prime position to just have like a Brian Thomas Jr. level of breakout season as a wide receiver. 1, 2, we'll see. Mecca Egbuka out of Ohio State, plus 1,800.
Wow.
Bet $1, get $18 back. Congratulations. A little bit of a long shot, is a wide receiver 2, but is the locked in wide receiver 2 of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And Baker Mayfield, he's going to sling it. People are the guys, the nerds, the fantasy nerds are like, this guy's not going to throw this many touchdowns again this year. There's no way. Look at how many touchdowns he threw last season. That's unsustainable. Well, good luck betting against Baker Mayfield, buddy, because he's going to be slinging it all over the football field. Maybe he'll throw a lot of interceptions again. I don't care. He's going to throw a lot of touchdowns, and a lot of them are going to be to Mecca Egbuka. He looks unbelievable. His releases are, he's got like, I'm not exaggerating, Devontae Adams level of releases in what I've seen in preseason. Maybe I'm overreacting to that, but he looks, I mean, I wanted to see what he looked like in an NFL uniform. I liked what I saw. I didn't think he'd be that dominant as an athlete as he was in college when he was getting chased around by Big Ten linebackers. All right. He looked pretty good, and I'm impressed about it. And that's why I got to recommend him at plus 1,800. James.
That's a good one. I like that one.
Thank you. Moving on to, are we going to have the same one on this one?
Comeback player of the year, based on what you said earlier? Absolutely not.
Oh no, we got a disagreement here. Comeback player of the year. I've got my shortest odds out of the whole program. James, what do you got on this one? This is the one that's going to win me it, by the way, if you disagree with me. This is an easy one.
Go ahead. Just go ahead and throw your Aiden Hutchinson's out.
Aiden Hutchinson's winning the comeback player of the year. He broke his leg in half in Dallas. Everybody was watching. It was a Dallas Cowboys football game, for goodness sakes. It was gruesome. It was brutal. He was running at full speed like 2 weeks after the Super Bowl. He was running at full speed doing like serpentine patterns like 4 weeks after the Super Bowl. He's in great shape. He looks unbelievable. They at both joint practices, one against your Houston Texans, who you think are going to win the Super Bowl, James, they had an Aiden Hutchinson rule where if Aiden theoretically sacked the quarterback, the referees were told not to blow it dead just so they could get looks for their quarterback and wide receiver because Aiden Hutchinson was that disruptive. You're not hearing that about any other pass rusher in the NFL right now. He's about to get re-signed. It probably happens before we even upload this video tomorrow morning, if I had to guess. He's about to get a lot of money from the Detroit Lions and a big extension. I'm already happy for him. Aiden Hutchinson at plus 275 after breaking his leg is going to get 19 sacks this season. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Wow.
Lock that one in. And I won. And I win. And that's why I have.
Did you lose the belt? What happened to the belts?
The offseason lightsaber.
What happened to the
I
belt?
lost. I can't find the titles. The gimmick, the what are we talking about? Title gimmicks?
No.
Yeah, I couldn't find them. We threw away our bookshelf. I think Natalie fucking threw them away. I think she did. We don't know where they are.
One of those was mine.
I know. That's what I told her. Sorry. Where were we?
I'll get
Comeback player of the year.
But we'll be able to afford comeback player of the year and afford as many title belts as we want after we win this one at plus 2,500. We've talked about this team quite a bit in this podcast. It's Miami Dolphins. They got Tua back. And if Tua stays healthy through this whole season, he's going to have a whole heck of a lot of yards. He's going to have a whole heck of a lot of fancy stats. And as long as he can stay away from the concussion, I think Tua can easily win this comeback player of the year. A quarterback comeback player of the year, give me right, plus 2,500.
That's good return. Bet $1, win 25. That's not bad.
And don't forget that if Tua comes back from all these concussions and plays well, the NFL gets to now push the narrative of concussions aren't that bad. Look at Tua. He's amazing.
Did he have a concussion last year?
Yes.
He did?
Yes.
I thought he had like a shoulder injury that ended his season. Because I'm thinking storyline wise, what he came back from like a shoulder soreness, shoulder stiffness style of injury. Tua's.
He had the concussion against the Bills.
Okay.
Where he had the finger thing, right?
You're right.
Then he had the shoulder injury, but
you're right. Hip injury. It was a hip injury.
Hip.
Concussion and a hip injury last season. Week 2 this is all according to Google AI, by the way. So if this is incorrect, I apologize.
Which has been historically incorrect.
Yeah. By the way, side note, the AI overlords are going to take over. I mean, they can't get football statistics as off the top of our head. We're better sometimes. Anyways, incident week 2, Thursday night football game, Buffalo Bills. Scramble for a first down, collided head first with Bills safety. That was Damar Hamlin.
Yeah, it was.
Ironically. Concussion, time missed. He's immediately placed on IR. Next 4 games and then cleared I remember because they were like he'll start next week. He's gonna clear protocol. He's gonna try and start next week. We gotta put him on IR. That's what was gonna happen. All right, and then late in the season, so he came back in I guess week 7 or so. Came back after IR, and then he had hip injury in December, and he was kind of quietly out for that because I think he finished the game and then he was just out for the rest of the season. I think so. Okay, so that makes sense. But to my point. The last injury he had was like a weird like hip pointer that he couldn't come back from. So storyline wise, that's why you are getting plus 2,500. But you're right. If they make the playoffs or if they win the division, they beat out Josh Allen and the Bills, or Josh Allen gets hurt or whatever happens to the Bills, and they win the division. And Tua's if they win the division, Tua is going to be awesome this year. 2,500. I don't hate it. I wouldn't recommend it. But I don't hate it, James. All right. One more bet, right?
One more bet.
Head coach of the year.
I love putting all my eggs in one basket.
Me too.
In this case, the basket is a Dolphin. I've got Mike Daniels to win coach of the year this year. I think I've said this many times. I believe in Mike McDaniels. I believe that he is an offensive genius. And I thoroughly believe that there is one person standing in his way of getting this locker room together and winning a whole heck of a lot of games. His name is Tyreek Hill. The second they trade that man, this Miami Dolphins team is going to click. There won't be anyone begging for running plays in the red zone, and Mike McDaniels will have full control of this team again. And the Miami Dolphins, should they win the division? Should they have a comeback player of the year? Why not have a coach of the year as well?
What's the odds on that one?
Plus 3,500.
Yeah, I still think they have a chance to win the division. That's kind of the end of story on that one. I do have the correct, and it's a longer shot than this one. This could surprise you. Plus 4,000, Dan Campbell. Why is Dan Campbell on the bottom of the list? Never won, so he's due for like a lifetime achievement award style head coach of the year championship, and just lost. What's the whole narrative about the Lions all off season? The most bet against team in the NFL, by the way, to not make the playoffs going into this season. What's the big narrative? Lost both coordinators. Dan Campbell can't do it. He's just a big dumb doofus. He's just dumb. Talking about gnawing off kneecaps and doing burpees with the team and being incredibly charismatic and charming and handsome, and has an amazing wife who they get coffee together on Mondays after championship or after wins when they win the football game. So that's nice.
Coffee with
family friend, by the way. Family friend. My cousin Jillian was hanging out with I forget her name. Dan Campbell's wife. What's Dan Campbell's wife's name?
Yikes. No, that's her name, Dan Campbell's wife.
Holly. He was hanging out with Holly Campbell at
Holly.
some event. Yeah. They were hanging out or whatever. Anyways, Dan Campbell, friend of the family, plus 4,000 to win after they're just gonna roll off of losing both their offensive and defensive coordinator and, drafting the best wide receiver in the class in Isaac Tesla and, drafting the 2 best offensive linemen in the draft class in Frazier and Ratledge. Mr. Raz Ratledge. All right. Mullet guy. Like that. Dan Campbell's going to win 15 games again this season. Then what do you do? Not give him the head coach of the year? You got to. He hasn't won it yet. It's not fair. Should have won 2 already. All right. Dan Campbell, head coach of the year, plus 4,000.
Wow. I love it. I also love the first photo that pops up for Holly Campbell on Google. It's her with Dan with lion ears on, and her shirt has a bunch of Dan Campbell faces on it.
I have this. I'm gonna share the screen. It's gonna.
That's quite impressive.
Yeah, that's cool.
Look at that.
That's
Look at
hilarious.
that. Look at that. Lion ears and the Dan Campbell shirt. That honestly might be my favorite game day outfit I've seen in a while.
That's hilarious.
That's amazing.
That's so
Shout
good.
out to
That's
Holly
why we
Campbell.
love him. Talk about storylines, James. You like that storyline?
We have Coach Wag of the Year because Ollie Campbell immediately wins.
He wants to be Coach Dan Campbell. He wants to have an actual lion on the sidelines for home games, and he's not joking about it. Get a lion. Make it happen, Sheila.
That sounds like a hell of an insurance policy you're going to have on
The
that.
LSU Tigers did it, and they're a college team. Get a lion. We want a lion. Get us a lion. All right?
Feel bad for that tiger.
Why? He's having a good time. He loves it. He lives in a great sanctuary on campus. Or no, actually, it's a different tiger. They brought in like a circus tiger. The tiger that lives on campus hung out.
Tiger that lives on campus lives great. The one that they threw in the cage for games and did not live well.
He was having a good time. He's a big kitty. He's getting pets all game.
Kidding. I don't think anybody was betting that thing. You have, well, night kickoffs in the SEC. You're probably drunk enough to pet a tiger. That's fair.
Oh, dun, 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 dun. You know?
What are the lyrics to that one?
I can't remember. I think I haven't sworn all. Have I sworn yet?
Hey, oh.
Please subscribe to the channel, bitch.
Hey.